Hello, everyone, and thank you for watching Principal Living. Today, we have a special guest that I've been trying to request for a while, and she's very knowledgeable when it comes to the body. And I would like to welcome Dr. Malou. How you doing, Dr. Malou?
I'm doing well. Thank you guys for inviting me over, and what an honor to be with you guys today. And I just want to share a little bit of my background. I have a degree in biology for 4 years in the Philippines from the University of the Philippines, and finished med school at West Visayas State University. Graduated with honors, and then I practiced medicine for 5 years in the Philippines, mainly serving the rural community. I remember serving there, being the only one doctor for one city. So think about having to take care of patients in the middle of the night, having gunshot wounds or stab wounds or congestive heart failure. And thank God that at that time, I was already a Christian, so it was an honor for me to minister, not only physically saving lives, but as a matter of fact, sharing the gospel to families, and I would say hundreds to thousands of people by being there for like 5 years. So that's my background. I also work in the emergency room and even the OB/GYN. So I get to enjoy for 2 years delivering babies, doing cesarean sections, and just being in the ER. It's fun having to deal with patients that are nearly dying and have to intubate them and all that. So I thank God for that, for those opportunity to serve people in the medical arena. And then came to the U.S. and joined while here. Joined Dr. Susan Richards in the Medical School of Healing, and we've been to several churches in the Bay Area, mainly serving people with various medical issues, and have seen a lot of miracles, from comatose patients being awakened and have their speech restored. So just a little bit of my background. Yeah, that's
awesome. Yeah. Well, that's a pretty cool background. And as far as like where you came from the Philippines.
Yeah.
Is every step that you've taken, do you think has helped you to get you to where you are now, to get to the knowledge, to the passion that you have towards helping people?
Yes. I was born into a very, I would say, not only poverty but extreme poverty. You know, my parents are common day laborers. They were uneducated, and we are 9. So do the math. If you have parents without stable job, and you survive day to day living, and you're 9 in the family without a decent home, then it was an extreme struggle. But our parents instilled in us that the key to success is was education, and all of us, almost most of us 9, finished college through scholarships. So I thank God for that. And I got saved when I was in med school. I was 20. I entered med school at 20 and graduated 25. And so that's when I finally learned the principle of the Bible, when the Lord said that you are the head and not the tail, and we cannot blame our circumstances for our situation, and we have the freedom to really choose our in terms of our actions. So I studied really hard. I applied that principle that when we are in the Lord, He expects excellence and He expects hard work. So I felt like God was with me at that time, and I didn't really struggle during med school. I was like getting good grades, through the mercy of God. And even in med school, I started volunteering, and we partner with churches, and then we serve underprivileged communities, and that's a good project, because then they get the medical services, and then they get to hear the gospel. So I love it when even Jesus said that no one takes my life away from me. He said, I lay it down and I pick it up again if I want to. So even Jesus taught us the principle of not blaming anybody for our circumstances, because we have the power to choose the hard work, the grit, the viewing in mind that if we if we overcome these obstacles, we can become what we want to be. Yeah.
That is so true.
Yes.
And you are talking about principles, which are pretty much the main point here.
Yes.
So we do appreciate that. As well, we focus here on principles that people have applied in their lives to become the person that they are today and the success they've gotten in life. I truly believe that if you apply principles, success will come and hunt you.
Yes.
It will come and get you because it's a way of functioning, it's a way of living, and a principle is a law. And when you set a law into your life, you can actually get success by itself. It will come for you instead of you chasing it.
Yes. Awesome.
So that is something that we've learned, and that's something that we want to teach people here. So we really appreciate that you're here. So as a well-educated woman and knowing the body, how it functions, we want to know what principles you have learned about the body in order for it to function correctly. So a principle here, we define it as a set standard that you won't compromise.
Yes.
And not just on ourselves, but the body itself. It's a principle that the body will function by and won't violate it itself.
Yes.
So to understand a little bit more about our bodies and how we function and what principles to apply towards it, what do you think will be the number one principle in order to apply in our lives to make the body function correctly that you can apply?
Yeah, I think we should understand that we are a tripartite being, that we are a soul, we are a body, and we are a spirit. So if the spirit is affected, then the physical body gets affected. And your soul is your mind, your will, and your emotion. And if these three areas are also affected, you have negative thoughts, you have no forgiveness, you're always feeling resentment and bitterness. It affects also our blood vessels. It vasoconstricts our blood vessels. That's why a lot of people get hypertension by being stressed alone. And also your will. There are areas in our life that if we don't accomplish well, it affects our self-esteem. It makes us like we are a failure. Not accomplishing your dreams alone can make you feel like you're inadequate, and it also affects your health. Think about anxiety and depression from feeling like you're a loser, and it affects your health. Think about how many peptic ulcer disease and gastroesophageal reflux disease that happens just because of those unaccomplished goals in your life. Or of course, your emotion. Our emotions are not stable. It's up and down. Just like say today, it's sunny, right? I feel good. Why? Because there is an natural release of endorphins on my brain. What about tomorrow? The sun doesn't show up. Should I feel bad? No, we have the freedom we have a decision to carry our own weather, because still we have the decision to smile and choose to be happy, because when we do that, there's still a natural release of endorphins, whether there's sunlight or none. And also our body affects also the same thing. It's a vice versa effect. If we don't feel good, we don't want to pray, right? If we don't feel good, our emotions are also affected. So we don't only take care of our physical body, but we make sure that we take care of the physical body, we take care of the mental, the emotional, and our spiritual life. So that's how it works. So let me start example with the digestive tract. We have to understand that over how many million today is suffering from diabetes and hypertension and obesity in the US alone because of lack of education about eating the right way, for example. First, digestion starts in our mouth. We have the amylase there, all the enzymes that digest all these carbohydrates and proteins that we eat, and the fats, and they're being broken down, goes into our esophagus. I'm describing here the normal process of digestion alone. It goes into our stomach, after the esophagus, and then there it mixes with a lot of enzymes. Pepsin that digests protein, lipase that digests the fat, and all the amylase, and it goes to your small intestines, the large intestines, and eventually, it exits as a waste product. So, like say if you don't eat a balanced diet, like say if you heard, example only, if you heard of fatty liver disease, you think, oh, I have a fatty liver. Okay, my enzymes are out of whack. They're out of control. My AST is elevated. My ELT is elevated. Why is that? You think, oh, because I ate a lot of fatty acids. I mean, I eat a lot of fats, but actually it's eating a lot of sugar, because when you eat a lot of sugar, like say donuts, soda, concentrated drinks, even your fruit juices, your cake, all these are loaded with simple sugars. What it does is it just dumps sugar in your blood right away in seconds. Well, at first it's good because we have the pancreas. The pancreas will simply secrete insulin to have those sugar enter your cells, so that when it enters your cells, it is being converted into energy. Well, if you keep doing that, like say every day, oh, donut again, pancake and waffle tomorrow, just like your normal routine, then your pancreas will be so tired of dumping all the insulin to get rid of all the extra sugar from your blood, and we develop the so-called insulin resistance. What is that? Insulin resistance happens when the cells would no longer allow, in spite of the presence of insulin, your cells will no longer open to let their sugar in. And so what happens? Those sugars are the very thing that mix with your macrophages to eventually create inflammation in the blood vessel. And what happens when your blood vessel is inflamed? You create a clot, and now you are prone to having heart attack. Now you will see that people with diabetes are now prone to having a heart attack versus the normal population. Also, most of those sugar in your circulatory system gets converted into fatty acids or fats, and that's the fat that deposits in your liver. Yeah, so when we say there are two types of fatty liver acid disease, those that happens in the alcoholics because they drink alcohol, and those that happens to people that don't drink alcohol, and those are the ones that eat a lot of sugar. So those are examples. So what I'm saying is control the way you eat. Like, you already know that sugar is not good. In fact, study shows that sugar is even more dangerous than alcohol because of the same problem. So instead of sugar, we discipline ourselves. It's not a better option. We will try complex sugar. Your carbohydrate, like potato, for example, is a better option. There's a lot of good carbohydrate present in your vegetable. So I would say completely avoid sugar. Completely avoid pancake. No more donuts. No more candies. It's Halloween. It's an excuse, maybe one or two. But as much as possible, we want to avoid sugar. Because it's like there are even cases right now of sugar being linked to dementia. Like eventually, the brain will be so inflamed because sugar creates it's an inflammatory response. It summons our cells of the immune system to create those inflammation that dumps those plaques in our brain that causes dementia. So that's one principle that I would say.
One thing that I do want to ask you, Dr. Malou, is you started with the brain and how stress and how putting ourselves into a bad mentality on a daily basis can drag us. Well, I'm just trying to understand if I got the right idea. So if you start with the bad mentality in the beginning, in the morning,
yes,
will that drag you towards eating, let's say, more sugar and not having a more disciplined type of eating during the day, which at the end gets you to a place where you're actually hurting your body, because you're trying to release dopamine by eating a little bit of sugar and feeling good about it.
Yes.
So just like I like the example you gave, you have the sun and you release a little bit, you make yourself feel a little bit better because of it. But when the sun is not out, we are looking for that same type of relief in a way, or the same type of reaction in our brain. So we replace it, let's say, with sugar, with something to spike up our way of feeling.
Yep.
Therefore, we kind of mess mess up ourselves
Yep.
because we start eating badly. One thing that I did see, and I would like to see if you, what's maybe your opinion about it, because I do see a lot of the day by day fast foods, a lot of companies that are out there, restaurants and stuff, they add a lot of sugar into their meals.
Yeah.
So can it be addictive in
Yes.
a way that is pulling people towards buying their products?
Yep.
And that could be one way that they are making sure they get customers, because they understand how the brain works and how
Exactly.
they're gonna attract people towards them. If you can break down a little bit of what will be the best choice for us to look for, instead of us looking for the easy way out and eating sugar for us to feel better. So can you break down a little
Yeah.
bit more of that, please?
Okay. I know it's kind of overwhelming, but remember that when we eat sugar, chances are we're also struggling emotionally because once you eat something, it makes you feel good, right? But the deeper thing actually is we have the so-called microbiome. I don't know if you have heard about it, that in our digestive tract, there's like trillions of bacteria, okay? There's good and there's bad bacteria. And we have to cultivate the good bacteria though, because their function is to dissolve further undigested foods. And they convert them to butyric acid, which is good for our body. Now, research found out that if we keep eating sugar, you're actually killing the good bacteria and you keep feeding the bad bacteria. And so that's the craving that you feel. Okay, think about it. I have this experience, just an example. I have this amazing French breakfast in Berkeley, and I tried their one time. After I had a dental appointment, I tried their French pancake, and guess what? I have to confess, I went there the next day, and then the next day, so 3 days in a row, I ate pancake, and then I realized that the research is true. If you keep feeding the bad bacteria, it's not necessarily you yourself craving, but those are the bad bacteria that you're feeding. There's the one that produces your craving. So it's, in fact, there are studies right now that if you keep gaining weight and you feel like it's not necessarily from eating, it could be that there's an imbalance of your microbiome. It could be that you're feeding the bad bacteria with the fast food because they thrive on that. But the secret to eradicating them is eating vegetable, organic food, fruits. If ever you eat meat, not a lot, but make sure that they are grass fed and also the organic ones. And then you literally, when you eat those food, you literally deprive them or starve them to death. And you will notice it. You feel good. You're not really craving for sugar and all that. So that's one principle. Another is manage your emotion. I mean, stress, for example, you've mentioned that when you are stressed, we have the so-called stress eating, right? Stress eating is not good because, for one, you want to feel your craving at that moment. So what's the food that's available right now? Chances are it's fast food. And then when you are stress eating, you tend to eat fast. And so if you eat fast, then you are actually not allowing your stomach to release, or your intestines to release, the enzymes that will digest the food. So what you have is indigestion. You have bloating. You have acidity, they call it, because you didn't allow your body to digest that food, because God meant for our meal to be enjoyed. You really like sit down, not think about anything, and savor it. That's how digestion. That's why we have to take time to chew it, because there are enzymes designed in our mouth to first break down this food into smallest particle as much as possible, because if you swallow it right away, you are giving the stomach extra work that supposedly your mouth should have been doing. So that's the one. So I would say, ask yourself, Why I am being stressed, or is my, because we can't just say to ourselves, choose this, because if the root of that problem is emotional or stress or spiritual, then we have to manage the inner man before we can manifest the eating. So that's a thing. There's a lot of interplay here, the stress, the emotional thing. When we're fatigued, we tend to eat more and all that stuff.
So would you say that in order for us to live correctly, to have, let's say, peace in our body, we will have to start from the mind and then transfer it into the body, because when the mind is aligned, when your mind is correct,
yes,
when your mind is at peace, you have more of a way to discipline your body.
yes.
Is that correct?
Yes. This is not only in the principle, it's in the Bible. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he.
Perfect.
So it doesn't only follow about eating. It also applies to our goals, our marriages, our family, our friendship, our relationship. So as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. That's why when you see all this, what do you call this? These health coaches, they ask you to have a set goal of what you eat for the week, for example. You have to meal prep, because if you don't meal prep, for example, you will just grab whatever. Like, say if you're working, you're hungry, you didn't prepare salad for that day, for example, or healthy food, then you will grab whatever is there. So it's important to set goals and really renew your mind. God said that we no longer conform to the patterns of this world. What is the pattern of this world? Just eat whatever. It's okay. Even some people take pride in eating unhealthy, and they kind of like mock people for eating unhealthy food. But in the long run, this will affect your health. So I would say, do not conform to whatever the pattern is. Always think that our body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. God said we don't own this. This body doesn't belong to us, and it is so expensive. He died on the cross to purchase this body for us to enjoy. And even in Corinthians, he would say, the Corinthians, they're the most pagan nation. They just love sex, and they love to eat without limits. And they say like, oh, whatever. The stomach is for the body, a stomach is for food, and food is for the stomach. Eventually we'll all be gonna be destroyed in hell. But Paul said that not everything for us is beneficial. That's what he said. Everything is good. That the donut feels good for a moment, but not everything is beneficial. And that Paul said that I will not allow my body to master me, but I will kind of like discipline my body to make it obedient, lest I may fall after I preach. So Paul is saying that we have control over our body, what we choose to eat. Like personally me, I'm 46, but I do high intensity training almost every day, because I know that if I don't do that, by the time I'm 60, I'll be in the wheelchair. I'll be like using a cane. So I know that exercise, for example, release endorphins. They trigger the growth of new neurons in my brain. They increase the capacity of my memory. They keep the circulation going, so that if there's a lot of blood clots in my body, they keep, the blood is just joining the circulation. Plus, it makes my heart healthy. So God has given us principle. We were designed for movement and not for sedentary lifestyle. So everything that we're discussing right now, it's in the Word of God. We were designed for movement. God wants us to take care of this body so that we can accomplish more, preach the gospel, help the poor, inspire more people about how good looking we are, hopefully, by doing the right thing. Because I feel like in my family, I'm the only one without high blood pressure. So, and we're all like almost, not really obese, but we're overweight. But I could have been one of my siblings hadn't I taken care of my body, like as the Lord designed us to take care of it. So yeah, I think also I would add, how the Lord said in Romans that we have to honor the Lord with our body. I think if we take care of our body, we are living sacrifices, the Lord said. I think the way, if we see taking care of our body as an act of worship, that will inspire us more. That our Creator, with all His sacrifices, seeing us taking care of this body so that we will feel good because we are the temple of the Holy Spirit, I think it will give Him honor.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, this is really, really good stuff. I do think that what I got from the first principle you're talking about is pretty much being able to have a stable mindset, have a stable way of thinking, and then once you have once you establish principles into your own life, going first on the brain, like being disciplined with what you eat, being emotionally healthy.
Yes.
You are able to now work into the physical, which is more about eating and your body making movement. So I really love it. I really love the information you've given. And pretty much if you are struggling a little bit and if you are eating a lot of sugar, go straight to the core problem. Just like she said, the problem is not you're eating sugar. The problem is something right behind it. That is a thought. Maybe you're struggling with something. Maybe you have a problem. Maybe something got you into a depression, and that is driving you towards making your body feel a little bit better, and by eating things that are not healthy to you. So make sure you guys know what you're eating, and start with your mind and start with the brain.
Yes.
But this is so good. This is so good information of how your gut. They are actually, if you agree with me, I've heard that even they're getting to a point, and now they're saying that the gut is actually the brain of the body.
Yes.
So
yes, it's so true.
And it's where everything starts. It's what you eat. What you eat, you will become.
Yeah.
And I really love what she has, the information. So just to jump into the second one, what do you think will be the second most important principle to live by in order to help the body become better?
If you've heard of probiotics, even Kaiser right now, they give it to even young kids because probiotics are actually live bacteria that actually part of the microbiome. So that's the reason why I personally take it every day. It's like mine is 30 billion CFU, and it's I'm getting it from Dr. Gundry. Dr. Gundry used to be the president of the cardiothoracic vascular surgeries. He used to operate and open those clogged vessels and do transplant surgery, but totally left his practice to do nutrition because one of his patients recovered without anything because they couldn't do any transplant surgery anymore because he had like a 4 vessel that is clogged. So it's not the heart transplant will no longer work, but came back to Dr. Gundry with all the vessels clogged after eating, I think, a year of just vegetable. So it's just like the medical field is missing something, and so he did a research. He went to Japan, where all the old people reached their 100-year-old plus and study what they're eating. He went to Italy, and just recommending that if you have time, you can research him. It's Dr. Gundry, and I am actually using his product. So, probiotic, and also the exercise thingy. If you cannot do the high intensity exercise, it's the squat burpees and all the squats and all the high knee runs that you do. I think you can do 30 minutes per day. So that's a total of 150 minutes per hour. That's the exercise recommended by the American Heart Association. And if you want to do the moderate intensity, like say walking and maybe jogging, you can do it for 1 hour per day. But the goal is always 150 minutes per week. In order to maintain a healthy heart. And so the next principle that I'm gonna mention is the principle of community. I think it happens. The principle of community is applicable not only in our health, but with everything. You know, in the workplace, we are a team. We always work as a team in the medical field because it takes at least four to save a life, right? Somebody does CPR, somebody injects, somebody, order the labs and all that. Same thing with healthy. You have to have your tribe in order to achieve your health goals. I don't really want to hang out when I'm at work. I don't eat with them because their food is like like Burger King. So if you keep hanging out or just it will just stimulate your, oh my gosh, I want to eat the fries. So make sure that what I do is like I take my break and I have my salad, And I just want to warn that organic food is kind of pricey, kind of expensive, but it's worth it. It's your body. It's worth. I think it's worth investing in your own body. So make sure that you have an accountability partner. Just like people, I don't know, just if you're recovering for pornography, you have accountability partner, right? I mean, same thing. If you have your goal, your health goal, just have a partner. Like, hey, I think I messed up today. I ate like 3 pieces of donuts. Just letting you know. But tomorrow is a clean slate. The Lord's mercy is new every morning. I can start again. You know what I mean? And then also, I want to emphasize the importance of loneliness. A lot of people, it's pandemic time. Research show that a lot of people they feel isolated and they feel lonely. And you feel isolated and lonely, that's when you actually eat bad food. Because again, the principle is eating sugar and bad food kind of give you a feeling of being good at that moment alone, but before you know it, you're already overweight. So I think it's good that we reach out. Even they said that addiction, the root cause of addiction is actually loneliness. Nobody reach out to them. That's why they get addicted. So avoid being isolated, be in a community. I know that we can go to church right now physically. Is something that we used to take for granted, that value of community when we can hug, just hugging somebody releases oxytocin from our brain, from the posterior part of our brain, that makes us feel good. In fact, there were studies that, in Hebrews chapter 10, it says that do not forget the assembling of our community on a regular basis on Sunday. But they actually did a study. Those are the neuroscientists that says that every time we gather together, there's a group release of oxytocin that bonds us as a community. That's when we reach out to each other. We started caring for each other because of the love hormone that God designed to be released, especially in a group setting. So come to think of it, if you're isolated, you deprive yourself of that natural love hormone that the Lord has gifted us, so that we can be more empathetic and compassionate towards people that need us. Yeah.
I totally agree with that, and I believe there's a couple of ways that other people would say. Yeah. And in the business world, I've noticed this. A lot of people that actually make it to being successful, they surround themselves with the right people.
Yes.
With people that can contribute to what they're doing. The people that had bigger goals than they did.
Yes. That
it spread their minds.
Yeah.
And I believe that it seems like it's in every area. Like you were saying, and it's that had happened to me before. That you are around a certain group of people,
right?
And then you are hungry, and then they choose where you want to go or where everybody wants to go, but therefore it might not be the right choice for you. So you feel a little more pressure into like, okay, I kind of want to fit in. I want to be with my friends. So let me order something. So I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna say, for today I'm gonna eat this. And it kind of brings that perspective of the way I've seen it and the way I've heard it is whoever you surround yourself with, you become.
Yep.
So
That's so true.
it's
Very
kind
true.
of whatever they're eating, you're gonna have to eat because that's what's around you. That's
Yep.
what's available, and I truly believe that the community and
Yeah.
the support system that could
Support
be
system, I
around you
love that. Yeah.
could be very crucial. And just like I said, if we go from the body to business, is the same thing. Surrounding yourself with the right people that are telling you, hey, you can do it, you can grow, you can make this business
Yes.
work. That is gonna make the difference. It comes back to the body, and you gave me that perspective, and I really love that because it's really who you are around the most
Yeah.
that can contribute or make it worse of the nutrition you get.
Yeah, that's true.
And I really like that. And I actually, one thing that I noted and I really liked is that you said that addictions come from loneliness.
Yeah.
And we are built
For
to
community.
be a social creature, to be around people, to help other people out, to just interact with other people on a daily basis. And the more we interact, I've heard this study. I don't know if you know about it, but I've heard that even babies, when there's a little baby, and you just rub the baby, the baby feels a sense of security. There's something that is released in their brains, and just the touch of a person. That's how powerful it could be. And I heard it from somebody that actually is in sales, and they come and they're trying to sell something to you, and you feel their touch, and they kind of calm you down.
Yes.
It's a way to calm you down. It's just the way your body actually reacts to the touch of a person, and how powerful it could be. So if you are alone, you don't have the touch of anything.
Yeah.
You don't have the feeling of getting a person close to you,
Yep.
or saying, man, I need help with this.
Yeah.
You're not able to reach out. So just like she said, surround yourself with the right people.
Yes.
That could be very, very crucial for your growth, for your mental health, and your body overall. So I really, really love that principle. How have you applied this principle on your daily basis? Because just like you said, you're around your family, you're around your friends, and you don't want to be rude in a way.
Yeah.
That they say, okay, you think you're this or that.
I know.
And how have you applied it into your life to become a person that it says, okay, I'm gonna set a boundary here.
Yeah.
And I need to worry about my own before I worry about what you think.
Yeah. I think, like say in the workplace, I get a struggle because I'm surrounded with people that are not saved yet, and you're trying to win them over to God. And of course, one thing that bonds you is food, right? But I realize that because we're close to each other now, they understand that I really love my salad. So they know that I eat it because I enjoy it, not necessarily to be prideful. Look at me, I'm healthy and all that. And at one point, I have actually convinced them to do a detox. So there's 4 of them that lost 10 pounds, 15 pounds in a week. And then for some reason, everybody went back to the old ways. And of course, as human, that's part of being a human being. You have to follow through. You have to be true to yourself and be committed. And I don't count that against them. I honor their personal decisions. So at one point, I almost influenced most of them. There's only one that followed through, and he is 60 years old now, but he looks really fit after the detox and continue eating salad and all that. So, and going back to that bonding, when you said that when you stroke a baby, that they would be calm and peaceful. After birth, they actually put the baby right away, we call it latch on, to have breastfed from the mother's breast, because by sucking the breast alone, it releases oxytocin that bonds the mother and the babies. It's a bonding hormone. So there are studies that babies that are breastfed are actually closer to their mom, to their parents, compared to those that are fed by like bottle feeding. So there's really a truth to that. I think it's a like a special hormone that the Lord has gifted His people.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's it's so awesome that just like I was saying earlier, is it's just something that you need. Is something that it's built already within you.
Yes.
So surrounding yourself with the right people actually makes a big difference. So if you guys can, and if you guys want to apply something towards your life, and understanding more of what she says and how the body works, your community,
Yep.
your surroundings makes a big difference on how your body is going to react and how it is going to function on a daily basis. So make sure you surround yourself with the right people. And to jump into the third principle, the last one, what would be another principle that you think will be beneficial to the body in order to function it correctly?
So the third principle that I want to share is, I think this is the most important also. I mean, one of the most important principle is one has to have a vision, a personal vision. How would you like to see yourself 10 years from now, 20 years from now? How would you handle the calling that God has given you, the weight of that calling with the physical health that you have 10, 20, or 30 years from now? This principle is very important. I mean, Jesus used this. I mean, when he went to the cross, he actually bargained with his Father, like, God, if it's possible that this cup would pass from me, but nevertheless, I'll take this bitter pill. He obeyed the Lord. And it says in Hebrews 12, too, that he endured the cross for the joy that was set before him. Jesus has the vision of us, you and me, being saved, his sons and daughters, and that imagination, that vision in front of him, that joy that was set before him. Because of that, he endured the cross, scorning its shame. We can use the same principle. Me, for example, I love to be still walking and active in my 90s. I really do. In my 80s, I just have a blood draw last week. Everything is normal. Like, I don't have a high blood sugar. I don't have, my cholesterol is perfect. You know what I mean? So now I'm just reaping the joy of my healthy eating. A lot of people gained weight because of the pandemic. I mean, you cannot blame, I'm lonely, I'm this, I ate. Like, a lot of people, study shows most people gain 20, 15 pounds because of this pandemic. And it's easy to make an excuse. Oh, because it's pandemic, we can really work out and all that. We can, you can go for a walk, you can work out from home. So this is the principle that I encourage everyone. Like, you have to have, if you can have a vision for your marriage, a vision for your, like, say, career, a vision for everything but health. That's not fair. So if you want to see yourself walking still and active in your 90s and your 80s with perfect blood pressure, and your muscle tone is still okay, what are you going to be doing right now? Okay, so me, for example, I maintain my high intensity training workout no matter what. That's 30 minutes per day. It's hard. I'm gasping after the exercise, but that's okay. I'll stick to my diet of more on veggie and grains, less carb, less meat, for example, and then the value of rest.
No.
Some people, they work so hard that they're not thinking about the long-term goal. Life is a marathon. It's not a sprint. Your goal is to finish the race until Jesus comes. But if you want to finish the race quick and see Jesus, that's fine too. I mean, it's a win-win situation. But my goal is really create balance. Even Jesus rested after the 7 days. We are designed to rest and take a break. When we sleep, that's number 2 thing that I would love to reiterate is the value of sleep, because when we sleep at night, that's when the brain gets rid of the bad neurons. You know, all the bad neurons, all the, even our bone marrow produces those fresh cells, the fresh red blood cells, the fresh white blood cells to fight our immune system. So if you are getting sleep regularly, you wake up refreshed with a new set of immune cells to fight that infection, for possible infection that day. So think about that, the benefits of rest and the benefits of sleeping. And sometimes we act like we're like God. Only God doesn't, is the only one that doesn't sleep. I think the camera is. You're the only, God is the only one that doesn't sleep. He said that he's the keeper of Israel. He never slumber, he never sleeps. And we think like we play God, like, okay, I can work 24 hours. It doesn't work that way. God is saying we have to enjoy the joy of sleeping, because if you don't sleep, you get irritated. Oh my gosh, your productivity lessens the next day. You're not the same person. You're grumpy. You get angry. So that's the one, you know, maintain your emotional health. You have a fresh set of neurons the next day. You have a good memory. Yeah, that's the thing that I just wanna. I think if you have that personal vision of seeing yourself at 80, at 90, at 70, at 60. I just want to be there helping the poor, preaching the gospel, encouraging people. And when they see you like, wow, you're 60 and you look good, what's your secret? So I think that will inspire people.
That's totally true. Yeah. The way I see it, and I kind of want to recap on what you said, is really having a long-term goal.
Yes.
And instead of kind of the way I'm seeing it from what she said is, when you have a long-term goal, it's just like she has, that she wants to be active, she wants to be able to walk when she's 80 or 90. She's already seen that in her mind. Yes. Therefore, the steps that she takes on a daily basis are according to what she sees in her mind.
Amen.
But yet, when we don't have a vision, we tend to just grab whatever is close to us on a daily basis. So instead of us feeling good in 30, 40, 50 years, we want instant gratification.
Yes.
We want the reward right away. And we want that sugar. We want that
just feel good.
That Slurpee. We want that fast food. Exactly, just to feel good. And that is actually hurting us in the long run if we don't have a bigger goal to achieve. I believe that even her goal, her vision for 80 or 90 years old gives her peace, because she's not stressing about achieving a goal in a week or two. She understands, she knows that she's gonna get there, and she's taking steps towards it. Instead of most people, you know, they have a small vision and they have like, oh, I want this, do this, or I want to lose 10 pounds in 30 days.
Yes.
And it's just,
and then go back to the old ways.
You go back to the old ways because you're not giving yourself enough time. You don't have a clear goal where you want to be. You're just putting a random number into it. So I really love that, to have that perspective on the long run, to get you to where you want to be, to get you to the vision. And instead of going with instant gratification, you look towards the end goal, and you want to achieve that main goal by taking steps on a daily basis, being able to exercise daily, because you know it's going to help you in the end. So I wrote one quote down, and it said, each grain takes time, but within time, it will build a beach.
Yes.
So every grain of sand, each little thing you do on a daily basis will bring out what you want.
Harvest.
Exactly.
Bring in the harvest.
It's kind of like
so
plowing, sowing.
Yes.
So I love what you said. It's great. So having a long-term vision for your body will get you the health that you want, instead of not having a goal and going for a daily reward. So keep that in mind. And before we kind of wrap everything up, Dr. Malou, we want to thank you that you were here. Thank
you for having me.
No problem. We appreciate all the information. I think it was very valuable. And I really hope that other people are able to watch this and get something out of it. She has a lot of good information. And like I said, hopefully this is valuable to you guys. So thank you guys for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for watching. We really appreciate it. And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Thank you, guys. Have a blessed day.
Thank you.